Welcome back to another episode of Plant-Based Ads. I'm Joey Troxel. First, I want to thank our financial supporters, Patreon and PayPal. Without them, the show couldn't happen. I'm a teacher. There's no way I could afford to do this. If you've ever thought about how can I help, how can I be part of what's happening, that's how you can help. You can become a financial supporter. There's a link below this video on how you can join PayPal or Patreon. I also send them, stuff that's on there that's not on YouTube. It's kind of personal stuff, our lives, opinions, thoughts. How to make soap. We make soap, and I'll show like that stuff on there. Just things like that. That's not on YouTube. So you do get some other stuff, and you get early access to the videos. You also get uninterrupted access. There's no commercials on there. So for instance, this video here will have commercials in it because that's how YouTube works. On Patreon, the same video's up there. There's no commercials. They get it 48 hours ahead of time, and it's just commercial free. So if you've thought about doing that, we'd love for you to join the team. If you haven't caught the podcast yet, Debbie Chu from Chew on Vegan and I have a podcast called Plant-Based Besties. It is available on all your podcast content suppliers, Apple, Spotify. It's also on YouTube. It comes out once or twice a month. It used to be once a month. Now we're trying to, get out more content. So we're trying to do twice a month right now. I love to listen to podcasts when I'm working out. So, that's something that a lot of people like to do. If you haven't checked out the podcast yet, it's a lot of fun. It's just me and Deb talking about getting older as vegans and just as, people and how we stay on track and keep up with fitness and nutrition and all that. So check that out. Let us know what you think, and please give us a review on there. All right, as I'm filming this today, it's a Friday, and I am going to do a whole day, like the same thing I did last time, a whole day of what I'm doing in my life. I don't know what to call these videos. It's a day of food. I'm going to show you what I'm eating all day, but I'm going to show you I'm futzing around at the gym and doing some other stuff too. So I'm just going to take you along with everything I do because it's the summer, right? So this is just my life in the summer because I'm a teacher, and I try and get other things done that I put off all year. I have about 2 weeks before I leave for Atlanta, and Tim's actually leaving Monday for where's HOSA going? I thought it was Houston, but it's Nashville. That's where he's going. So Tim's going to Nashville with HOSA, which is the medical student run organization. They use him whenever they need him for stuff like that. My school, when I say they, I mean my school, the teachers at my school, and because he was a parent, right, for so long. And then when he gets back, I'm leaving for Atlanta, and then I'll get back, and I immediately leave the next day for LA for FBLA. I try not to think about the summer. If I think about everything I have to do in the summer, I get anxiety and like hives and stuff. So I try not to think about it until it's here, and then I just do it. And that's kind of the best I am. I am a planner and organizer, but when there's stuff back to back like that during my off time, it just makes me anxious. But this is what the kids need, and I got to be there for them. All right, so it is a gym day. It's Friday. It's a gym day. It's shoulders and arms. My favorite. That's my favorite day of the week for gym. And it is morning, right? Well, okay. It's 11:42. I've just cleaned up the kitchen. I just got up, cleaned up the kitchen, did a few things, and I'm gonna start my day. Normally, I'd have a protein shake or pancakes or something protein related. But since I'm going to the gym, all I really want is carbohydrates, something that burns quickly like fruit, right? So what I'm having, and by the way, my entire day of food is planned out, and I'll put this on the screen so you can see it. So I already know what I'm having for every meal. And that's what whether I'm filming or not, that's how I live my life. I make my meals in chronometer the day before based on what I have or what I'm going to the store for. So I already know what I'm eating, so I'm not guessing at anything. And for breakfast, I'm gonna have 300 grams of fruit because that's what I need for the gym. So I'm gonna throw that together and show you how I do it. All right, so for breakfast, I'm having some berries here, and I know that I have, because I washed the blackberries, I know they have 134 grams of blackberries here. So I'm going to zero out the scale here and put it on grams, and that should give me 134, which it does, so I'm good there. And I already know how many calories I want to eat and all that, so I want about 100 calories in fruit. So I'm gonna have 150 grams of cantaloupe. Let's grab that right here. So let me reset that, and let's grab 150 grams here. And this is like the small cantaloupe, the organic one. The taste is amazing on this. I want 150 grams. I'm at 160 right there, 158. There I go, 148. Just gonna have that extra piece. 156, close enough. Oh, 153, close enough. All right, this is my pre-workout right here. It's just a bowl of blackberries and cantaloupe, and that's what I'm having. I just need quick burning whole carbohydrates, energy for the gym, and I don't want it to be in, like I can't have like oats or something. That'll take hours to dissolve. So this is it. So good. Yeah. I love starting the day with fresh, cold fruit. It really makes me feel like I'm ready to take on the day. All right, I got a lot going on. I'm gonna finish this up, get to the gym, get home, get showered and cleaned up, and have my next meal, which will be overnight oats. And I'll tell you all about that because I made that the night before because it's overnight. So see you in a bit. All right, it's gym time. This is my favorite day of the week. It's shoulders and arms. I'm going to show you a few clips here. I couldn't really record much because I hate doing this. This here is the shoulder press in the machine. This is actually where I hurt myself months ago, back in February. I'm just trying to do as much weight as I can now. I think it's only like 70 pounds at this point, but that's the best I can do without pushing myself. And I usually do 4 sets of like 10 to 12 on this. Here's a shot of me doing some tricep work. I'm doing what's called skull crushes. These are dumbbell skull crushes. I'm just kind of holding the dumbbells above me and then laying my arms down without really moving the top part of my arms. And then at the very bottom, I'm pulling down a little extra bit just to squeeze my elbows down and put a little extra pressure on them. I like this exercise because it's just me and the dumbbells and the bench, and I don't need a lot of other stuff around me. And I used to do, again, about 4 sets of 10 or 12 on this, at least till I'm worn out. The gym is usually quiet like this, and I've really been enjoying having the place to myself. Who knows how long that will last? I don't know if that's just a summer thing or what. All right, so here I am out front of the house. I'm cleaning the front water bath for the birds. They rely on this. It's over 100 degrees, and they just stand on this thing with their mouths open, and they're like gasping. So I make sure this is clean every day, and a lot of it, by the end of the day, it's just a small little puddle on the bottom. So I'm just kind of rinsing this thing out and filling this up and making sure my birds have their water for the day and that they don't die in front of my house in the desert. And then, of course, the birds in the rear need the same attention, so I'm filling that fountain up. I just washed this thing out like over the weekend, so it just needs some water. I got to stay on top of this again. The water just evaporates, and every day it's like almost, half of it's gone. Housework is a chore. To get started with my protein oats, I'm starting off with 1/4 cup of oats. I'm also tossing in 1 gram or about a teaspoon of hemp hearts. I'm going to be using Earth Chimp vanilla protein powder here, so I'm putting in 2 scoops of that. And about a teaspoon of 0-calorie sweetener. If you're not worried about calories, put in regular organic sugar. If you're worried about calories, use a 0-calorie sweetener. I'm going to throw the cap on that and shake that around a little bit just to kind of get it all mixed up. Time for the wet ingredients. Next, I've got my homemade Greek yogurt right here. I'm going to throw in about a half a serving of this. This is the 1/6 of the recipe, or a whole portion. I'm going to put in half of this portion. If you're just putting in regular store-bought yogurt, it's about 1/4 cup. And I'm using Greek-style yogurt so I can get more protein out of this. Next, I'm going to toss in about 50 grams of frozen strawberries. And then about 1 cup of plant milk. I also like to throw in just a touch of vanilla and just a sprinkle of salt. All we're doing now is we're going to put the cover on, shake it up, make sure all of the stuff on the bottom gets mixed up. And you can see there that's happening. It's all turning blue from the blueberry. Want all that stuff out of there from the bottom. You may have to stir it up. But all the powder has to get mixed up. All right, it's looking pretty good. I'm just gonna toss this in the fridge and let it sit overnight. And then the next day, just take it out of the fridge and open it up. And you should have some really nice overnight oats. You can use a little less milk if you like it thicker, or you can have a little more milk if you like it milkier. This right here is exactly the way I like it. I can't wait to eat this. All right, so now it's the next day. I've got my overnight oats, having overnighted in the fridge, and it looks fantastic. I'm gonna dump it into this clear bowl so you can see it, but it's just blueberry oats. And I like it at this consistency right here. It's not so dry that it's rocky, and it's not so wet that it's just watery and I gotta fish everything out. It's just mixed perfectly. Oh man, those blueberries just color everything so nice. Oh, that's looking good. All right, so you can see right there, I've got a nice blueberry oats. You can throw toppings on here and all that, but right here, the way this looks, this is just the way it is. 385 calories, 38 grams of protein, 42 carbs. I love nuts on here. I love all sorts of stuff on here, but I don't want to have more calories than 385 calories. But you put on whatever you want. I just want to show you a really good base recipe for high protein oats. Let's give it a shot. I'm so hungry. Oh man. Blueberries are so good. Wow. Absolutely delicious. So I just came home from the gym. I worked out. And this is like almost 40 grams of protein just from the oatmeal. So that's pretty good. You don't have to have a protein shake, right? Although there is protein powder in here, so. So good. All right, I'm gonna eat this. It's actually 3 o'clock, if you can believe that. This is my breakfast. And then I'm meeting a parent online about the trip coming up. They wanna ask me some questions. That happens. Of course, I am not even a representative of the school right now. I'm on summer vacation, but if the kid needs something, like, I'm there all summer. That's just the way it is. So I'm gonna do that, and then we'll probably stop in a little bit later on, have some lunch. All right, see you in a bit. All right, it's a few hours later. I had that phone call with the parent. It went really good. Actually, it's a parent that's caused a lot of problems for some of the other advisors, but actually went really well with me. So anyway, I just found out, while I'm sitting there, an email popped up on my personal email saying that my gym, the one I go to, Anytime Fitness, is closing. They're closing down. I guess one of the things I love about it is that there's no one ever there, right? I almost feel like I have the whole gym to myself. Today, actually, there were a few people there, but normally it's really quiet. There's no one there. And well, I mean, I guess I can see why they're closing. So I have to find another gym, so I have to transfer to a different Anytime Fitness. I'm a member of a bunch of different gyms. Through Tim's work, we have that one pass thing where you pay, I don't know, $30 a month, and then you can join, like, I don't know, 10, 11, 12, however many gyms you want. So I belong to a few of them, but that Anytime Fitness is close to my house. I mean, it's literally 3 blocks away, and it's always open, so I can go in the morning, afternoon. There's just no excuse. And even though I usually go like 10 a.m. or noon, I like knowing that I don't have an excuse not to go because they're closed. So there's other Anytime Fitnesses that I'm going to transfer my membership to, but I just hate change. Like, I love that going to that place. I mean, it's in a sketchy shopping center, and there's always people walking by, but today was the best. Today is Friday, June 13th, and I'm working out, and it's all glass, so I can see the shopping center, and I'm working out, and there's a guy walking, and I just see his profile, and I'm working out facing the glass, and he stops, and he's wearing one of those damn hockey masks. Was it Jason, or who wore that, or Freddie? I don't know who wore the hockey mask, right? It wasn't Jason. Jason was the Captain Kirk mask, right? I don't know, but he was wearing the Friday the 13th mask, right? Was it Freddy Krueger? I'm not sure. So I'm working out. He stops and looks at me, and I'm like, in the middle of listening, and I go, holy crap. So of course I try not to look, but he just did one of these things, and he was like, and he's got the hockey mask on, and I'm like, holy crap. So I pretend to do anything else, and then I can't help it, like, I just start laughing. So then he just turns and he keeps on walking, and I'm like, what the hell was that? Oh my gosh, it was the funniest thing, and I realized it was Friday the 13th, and he's walking around with this mask. Okay, sketchy area, but that was really funny. My phone's going off. All right, so I'm kind of, halfway through the day. I'm a little snacky, but I don't want my full meal yet. Technically, I haven't had lunch, but I'm gonna have a snack, and I'm gonna have a chocolate protein pudding. It's really these Simply Delish, which is now called Simply Desserts. They changed their name. This one's the banana, but the one I'm about to use, the chocolate. It's low calorie, and I load it with protein powder, and one of these winds up being, I mean, look, it's filled right to the top, right? Like, it's a chocolate pudding. One of these winds up being 120 calories, is it? It's 120 calories with 12 grams of protein. And it's a great snack. Look, it's chocolate pudding. So good. Sometimes I'll spray like, the almond foam whipped cream on it or whatever. But really, these are just ready to go. So I make a box of these. It makes 4. I make 2 boxes of them, and it makes 4 of them. And I have a recipe for it somewhere. And then I throw them in the fridge. And these are ice cold. I made them yesterday or 2 days ago. Delicious. I love chocolate pudding. And I love that I can have this and it's anabolic. So good. So I am bummed out about the gym thing. So, I belong to a big mountainside fitness and it's beautiful. And then Tim goes to this EOS one. And he took me there one night, like last week. And there was a movie room, like a theater, like a big theater. But instead of chairs, it's all treadmills. So you're like, and they were playing Jumanji, right? The original with Robert Williams. And I'm like, pop, pop, pop. And I start the treadmill. And I'm like, I only realized 30 minutes goes by and I'm watching the movie and Tim's texting like, are you ready? I'm like, no, I'm at the best part of the movie, right? But I had to go because we went together. So like there's all these big gyms around that are really like over the top. But I really like Anytime Fitness because, it's just the equipment and it's quiet. There's no one there. So there you go. All right. I'm going to finish this. And then probably in about an hour, I'm going to have lunch. And I'll show you what that is. All right, see you in a bit. All right, it's time for lunch, and it's kind of a late lunch. Today I'm having what would translate to a chicken salad sandwich, but I just made it using seitan. I threw it all together last night. Here's how I did it. All right, we're going to start our seitan salad sandwich, chicken salad sandwich, but using seitan by making the dressing first. For the dressing, we've got 1 serving here of our Greek Instant Pot yogurt. There'll be a link to the video up ahead. And we're going to use half of that serving. So these things are about 120 grams each. So about 60 grams or whatever half the serving is. There we go. That was good right there. And I'm just going to kind of mix it up a little bit because it's Greek yogurt and it's always extra thick. I want it to start breaking down a little bit. All right. Next, I'm going to add a little bit of onion here, about 1/4 cup. It's all diced up. And then I got a little bit of celery, about, 1/4 cup there. I'm just making 1 serving, so I don't want to overpower it. And then I'm just going to salt and pepper to taste here. So I would say it's just kind of a dash of each one. And I'm just going to kind of mix this up. And this is going to be my dressing. And I think I'm going to add just like, a 1/2 teaspoon of lemon juice in here. And then I'm just going to take 1 serving of our seitan recipe. Our entire recipe makes 13 servings. And this is 1 serving, which depending on how much water absorbs, it's a different amount each time. 1 serving this time is 92 grams. So there it is. And I'm just going to mix that all together. And that will create my seitan salad. Oh, it's looking pretty good right there. Holy smoke. It definitely needs more pepper and salt, so for sure. I like a lot of pepper. And we'll put a little more salt in there. So I'm just going to take this, cover it, throw it in the fridge, let it sit there overnight. And then tomorrow when I shoot my video, I'll be ready to make a sandwich out of it. That's it. All right, so I'm just going to take my chicken salad right here, and it's in this bowl, and you can see it. I mean, it just looks like chicken salad, right? But it's actually seitan salad. I'm going to pop that on my bread. So I can get that all out here. I'm just going to have a sandwich. And I just made 1 serving, just enough for, 1 sandwich. 1 hefty sandwich. We'll see how that goes. I've never actually made this before, but in fact, even when I was a meat eater, I don't think I've ever had chicken salad. So it's not something I'm familiar with, but I've had chickpea salad many times, and I think that's probably similar. All right, let's get this in the sink. Pepper on here, a little fresh ground pepper. And I'm just using the Nature's Own soft white bread. It's the protein bread, and I think it's, I don't know, it's 6 calories. It's 6 grams of protein per slice. So it's 12 grams of protein just from the bread in a sandwich. And there you can see right there, I've got a nice thick chicken salad sandwich, but it's vegan, so it's Seitan salad. Let's give it a bite, and then we'll talk about the macros. I don't know what to expect here. Oh, good. Oh, yeah. All right. So as far as the macros here, this sandwich is 317 calories and 48 grams of protein. Thank you, Seitan. 35 carbs and 7 grams of fat. Seitan always bumps up the protein for a very low calorie. You gotta love it. Without Seitan, I couldn't have, like, potatoes and all that stuff, because I wouldn't have enough calories left. Not on, 12 to 1300 calories a day. All right, I'm gonna eat this, and we'll see you back for dinner. So good. All right, down to my last meal of the day. I'm gonna finish the day off with a protein shake. I've already had the overnight oats. I've had some cantaloupe and blackberries for pre-workout. I've had a pretty filling lunch with the Seitan salad sandwich, chicken salad sandwich, Seitan salad sandwich. I had a pudding, which is great. And I even have down here that, I always print out my my things when I'm doing a video. I even have down here that I have a Jello, not Jello, but the vegan version of Jello, the Simply Delish plant-based gels. It's like Jello, but it's just plant-based. For one of my desserts for 10 calories, but I'm not even gonna eat that. I'm just not that hungry. So I'm gonna start with making myself a protein drink here. So I'm just having the Beast here blender full of ice, and I measure everything out because I need to know exactly so I can stay within my calories. And for banana, I'm putting in 50 grams, which is not a lot of banana. So I'm going to put in 50 grams of banana. So I got my scale, I'm just gonna set it to grams and put in 50 grams. That's close enough right there. There we go. 50 grams of banana, looking good. Right after that, I like to put in my plant milk. So I'm going to use 1.5 cups or 360 milliliters. Oops, I got to zero this out first. All right, 360 milliliters of this. All right, that's 278. All right, I've always got these milks in the garage fridge. 278. We got to get to 360, and there we are. All right. 1 cup is 25 calories. I love this milk. All right, and then I'm putting in how much protein powder? 2 servings, so 4 scoops of Earth Gym chocolate protein powder. The chocolate is definitely my favorite. So I'm gonna use that. We've used protein powder in the other recipe also. I mean, I use it throughout the day on occasion. 1, 2, 3. I love Earth Gym because you can bake with it. It's just so smooth. 4. All right, as you know, I'm an ambassador for Earth Gym, so if you want to save 10% on your next order, there's a link in the description below this video, and if you order over $45, you get free shipping, so that's nice that they do that. And then I'm going to put in just a little bit of psyllium husk, 2 teaspoons, and that's it. I'm going to take this over to the blender, blend it up, and pour it. I'll be ready to have dinner. All right, as I was walking by the spice cabinet, I realized that I didn't throw any vanilla in here, so I threw some of that in too. And it should be ready to go. It is. One of the things I love about the Beast blender is that this decanter right here makes exactly enough protein mix to fill this jar up right here. To fill these, I don't know, what size are these? Do we know? No idea. They're just large jars. Although, here's my thing with this. If I was a blender maker, right, I would have just made the base and this and had it screw right on these jars, right? Why why even bother with this? People already have these jars. You can buy them in masses. If they made it screw on, right, then all they need to sell is the base and this right here, and that's it. And then you just have your own jars, and you'd have unlimited amount of jars. You wouldn't have to rinse them off each time. You just throw them in the dishwasher when you have 5 or 6 of them. To me, that's a much better option. All right, I'm gonna throw this in the sink here to get washed. Having chocolate for dinner is always good. All right, so I've been kind of futzing around all day trying to get some stuff done, but I've kind of discovered this French show called, I don't know what it's called. It's Domaine Noué Appartient. I don't know. I don't speak French. It's a French soap opera. There's like a bunch of seasons on the French version of Prime. So I just watched one free episode, and now I'm 9 episodes in. And it starts off with an explosion, right? And some people die in the explosion. And they're all kind of in this small little town in France. It's called Sete, Sete, I don't know. And that you find out the people are all kind of connected somehow. Typical soap opera. And I'm just fascinated with it. The funny thing is, my family will tell you, I don't watch any TV. I watch YouTube stuff because I'm constantly looking at YouTube and that sort of thing, but I don't watch serial television, right? I don't get involved in stories or any of that stuff. I don't do seasons of things. I just don't do that. So this is very bizarre for me to be involved in this, but I've been kind of watching that all day. Leave a comment below if you know anything about what I'm talking about. And don't be a killjoy and spoil it for me. All right, let's go over the macros for this. So my shake here, 337 calories, 42 grams of protein. So the entire day, I'll throw this on the screen. It's going to say 10 more than I actually have because I didn't have that Jell-O. It's not a Jell-O, it's a plant-based gelatin, but whatever it is, you know what I mean. I might actually have that before I go to bed because that's still a few hours away. But currently, if I have that, it's 1,283 calories for the day. If I don't have it, it'll be 1,273. It's only a 10-calorie difference. And I had 143.7 grams of protein, so I hit my 140, which is really good. A day in my life, food, the gym, getting the birds some water, lots of stuff there. Click that like button, show us some love, click on the subscribe button, click on that bell, you get notified every time we have a new video, usually every Tuesday, and leave a comment below. Let me know if you're following the high protein lifestyle like I am. Today, of course, is fitting into my cutting schedule. That's what I'm doing this summer. I'm doing a whole vlog about that, and it'll be releasing shortly, and that'll be a daily thing when that happens. First episode will be 20 or 30 minutes as I explain the setup, and then every night it'll just be a 10-minute episode. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.